Halfway through our custody hearing, my 10-year-old daughter raised her hand. "Your Honor, can I sleep here tonight so Dad can't lock me in the garage again?" My ex laughed and said I had coached her into. Emma placed her school tablet on the clerk's desk and whispered, "Homework recorded him." My ex-husband laughed, not loudly. Daniel never did anything loudly when people in authority were watching. He gave the judge a patient smile, as if Emma had repeated something embarrassing I had taught her. "I'm sorry," he said. "This is exactly what we've been trying to explain. Rebecca puts these ideas in her head." Emma tightened her grip on the backpack she had refused to remove all morning. Beside Daniel, his wife Lauren lowered her eyes with practiced sadness. She had placed Emma's blue water bottle and folded sweater on the table like proof that she was the caring parent I could never be. The hearing would decide whether Daniel received primary custody. His attorney had already described me as anxious, controlling, and unable to accept his stable-to-parent home. Every warning sign I reported had been turned against me. Emma crying before visits meant I made her afraid. Emma asking to call me meant I encouraged dependence. The journal where I recorded her nightmares and sudden fear of locked doors was called obsessive. Even Dr. Keller, the custody evaluator, had written that I might be reinforcing Emma's anxiety. "I don't want Rebecca punished," Daniel told the judge. "I want our daughter protected from her fear." He had always been good at placing his cruelty gently in someone else's hands. I sat still, though my heart pounded. If the judge believed him, Emma could leave with Daniel that afternoon. My calls with her could be reduced. If I resisted another exchange without proof, I could be sanctioned. Daniel knew that. That was why he was smiling. The judge looked at Emma. "Did you want to tell me something else?" Emma glanced at her father. His smile did not change, but I saw the warning in his eyes. She moved one step toward me. Daniel leaned forward. "Emma, tell the judge what really happened." "Mr. Shaw," the judge said, "your daughter is speaking. You will not speak over her." For the first time that morning, Daniel's smile slipped. The judge motioned toward the chair beside me. "You may sit with your mother." Emma crossed the space so quickly that her backpack bumped my shoulder. I waited until she reached for my hand, then she whispered, "I brought it." From the front pocket of her backpack, she took out her school tablet. A white district sticker covered the back. One corner was scratched, and a blue reading app glowed on the screen. Across it ran a row of audio waves. The bailiff carried it to the clerk. Daniel's eyes moved from the tablet to the woman behind my attorney. Miss Porter, Emma's fifth-grade teacher, stood holding a sealed district envelope. "What is this?" the judge asked. "It records when I read my homework," Emma said. Daniel laughed again. Rebecca had access to that device. Ms. Porter stepped forward. "The assignments upload automatically to the district server, Your Honor. Parents can't alter the original files." Daniel turned toward his lawyer. I opened my folder and placed one email on top. 3 weeks earlier, after Ms. Porter mentioned that Emma's assignments arrived unusually late on custody nights, I had asked the district to preserve every original recording and activity log. I had not confronted Daniel. I had learned what happened whenever I spoke before I could prove something. My attorney rose. "We're asking the court to hear the most recent file before ordering this child back to her father's home." Daniel's lawyer objected. The judge looked at Emma, still wearing her backpack, as if she might need to run. Then at the sealed school envelope, "Play it." The courtroom speaker crackled. Emma's recorded voice began reading softly from a story about a girl lost in winter. Then came the scrape of a deadbolt. A heavy metal door slammed. The child beside me stopped breathing. And my ex-husband's voice came through the courtroom speakers. Part 2. "You can come inside when you stop asking for your mother." Daniel's recorded voice was calm. That made it worse. On the file, Emma asked if she could get her sweater. Daniel told her she needed to learn what happened when she lied. Then there was silence, followed by my daughter trying to continue. her reading assignment through uneven breaths. No one in the courtroom moved. Daniel stood. That is completely out of context. Sit down, Mr. Shaw, the judge said. He tried another explanation. The garage door had closed accidentally. Emma had been there only a minute. It was ordinary discipline, twisted by a bitter ex-wife. Each new excuse contradicted the one before it. Ms. Porter opened the sealed envelope. The file was uploaded to the district server at 10:43 p.m. during Mr. Shaw. Parenting time, she said. Rebecca Shaw could not edit it. And this is not the only recording. Daniel's lawyer stopped writing. Ms. Porter placed an activity log beside my custody journal. 6 late-night uploads matched 6 weekends Emma had spent at Daniel's house. The journal he had called obsessive now showed the same pattern as the school. Records, nightmares, fear of locked doors, and Emma, returning without using the phone. Daniel claimed she could access any time. Daniel pointed at me. She built this. She coached Emma and found a teacher willing to help. No, Ms. Porter said. Rebecca Shaw asked us to preserve existing files. She did not create them. Emma leaned against my arm. I kept reading, she whispered, because Ms. Porter always listens to my homework. The judge's expression changed. Emma will remain beside her mother, she said. Mr. and Mrs. Shaw will not address the child directly for the rest of this hearing. For the first time in months, someone with authority had put a boundary between my daughter and her father. But Daniel still had one story left. He insisted I had taught Emma to accuse him. Dr. Keller's report, he said, proved it. The clerk opened another file. This time, Daniel's voice was not the first one we heard. Lauren's was, "We're going to practice what you tell Dr. Keller. Tomorrow." Lauren went white. Then she said the next sentence. I finally understood how they had made the court believe I was the dangerous parent. Part 3. Lauren's voice came through the courtroom speakers. Tell Dr. Keller your mother taught you to say you were afraid. A pause followed. Then Daniel spoke in the background. Once she writes it down, Rebecca won't be able to interfere anymore. The room seemed to shrink around us. Lauren stared at the tablet as if it had betrayed her, while Daniel's attorney lowered his pen. Across the aisle, Dr. Keller closed the custody report she had written 6 weeks earlier. Daniel stood. This is being misrepresented. Sit down, Mr. Shaw, the judge said. He obeyed, but the patient concern was gone from his face for the first time. He looked like a man who understood that calm words could not erase his own voice. The judge turned to the bailiff. Daniel and Lauren Shaw are not to address the child directly. Emma will remain beside her mother. There will be no custody transfer today. Emma's hand tightened around mine. It was not a final ruling, but my daughter would not leave the courthouse with Daniel that afternoon. 3 years earlier, Daniel had left our marriage wearing the same reasonable expression. He told friends we had grown apart and told the school struggled with change. By the time he married Lauren, he had already assigned us our roles. Lauren was warm and organized. Daniel was the devoted father, rebuilding his life. I was the bitter ex-wife who could not let go. Their large house and school volunteering helped sell the story. Lauren baked cinnamon rolls for school events, and Daniel coached youth soccer. My smaller home and long work hours became evidence that I was anxious and unstable. Then Emma stopped calling me from their house. She came home with her backpack still strapped to her shoulders. She asked whether my bedroom lock worked from both sides. The clang of a metal delivery ramp once sent her beneath the kitchen table. Whenever I asked what happened, she said, "Nothing," sometimes she added. "Dad gets mad when I remember things wrong." I took her to a counselor. Daniel accused me of planting fears, and Emma withdrew the little she had said. I recorded dates, missed calls, nightmares, and the phrases Emma whispered after visits. His attorney called my journal obsessive. Before Dr. Keller's home visits, Daniel's garage stood open. Lauren prepared family activities, and Emma was promised movie night if she didn't make things confusing. Dr. Keller saw a polished home and wrote that I might be reinforcing. Emma's anxiety? After I once kept Emma home when she sobbed before an exchange, Daniel filed for primary custody and accused me of parental alienation. Every attempt to protect her now risked helping him take her away. The first break came when Ms. Porter called about Emma's oral reading homework. Several assignments had been uploaded very late during Daniel's custody nights. In one, she heard a metal door. "Are the original files stored on the tablet?" I asked. "No," she said. "They upload to the district server." I did not confront Daniel. My attorney sent a preservation request. Then we compared the upload history with my custody calendar. There were 6 matches, 6 late-night recordings, 6 weekends at Daniel's house. And when the clerk placed the list on the courtroom monitor, Daniel finally realized the file we had heard was only the beginning. Part 4. Ms. Porter identified each assignment, while the clerk displayed 6 files on the monitor, 6 late-night uploads, 6 weekends at Daniel's house. My custody journal lay open beside the certified activity log. Daniel had mocked that journal for a year, but every entry now matched a school time stamp. Emma's nightmares, her fear of locked doors, and the nights she returned without the phone he claimed she could use anytime. Then my attorney opened Daniel's sworn declaration. "My daughter has never been confined in the garage or left there alone," he had written. The judge read the sentence twice. The next recording began with Emma asking, "Can I get my sweater?" Lauren answered, "You know the rule. You come inside when you can speak respectfully about this family. I only asked to call Mom. You already have a mother here." Lauren began to cry in the courtroom, but they were frightened tears. Not the tears of someone hearing a child's pain. "I never locked her anywhere," she said. Daniel handled discipline. "I was trying to support my husband." The judge told her to speak only through counsel. Another file played. Lauren took Emma's phone and told her she did not need to call me whenever she was upset. Then Daniel's voice came from farther away. "If she keeps making accusations, the judge can take her away from you. Do you understand? Take Mom away," Emma whispered. "If you keep giving her stories." That was why my daughter had stopped talking. Not because she did not trust me. Daniel had convinced her that telling the truth would make me disappear. My attorney read one line from my journal, written the morning after that recording. Emma asked if telling the truth could make a mother go to jail. Dr. Keller raised her hand. She admitted Emma had used almost those exact words during the custody evaluation. She had believed they showed fear created by conflict between her parents. She had not known Daniel had planted the threat himself. "Were you alone with Emma during the interview?" my attorney asked. Dr. Keller hesitated. Lauren was in the adjoining room. The door was partially open. Lauren went white. The final recording had been made the night before that interview. "We're going to practice what you tell Dr. Keller tomorrow," Lauren said. Emma told her she did not want to lie. "It isn't lying. Say your mother asks questions until you give her the answer she wants," Daniel added. "And say she taught you to be afraid of the garage. But I am afraid of the garage." A long silence followed. Then Daniel said, "You can sleep in your room when you get this right." No one needed the reversal explained. The 2 people accusing me of coaching Emma had been coaching her themselves. The judge issued a temporary emergency order before the hearing ended. Emma would remain with me. Daniel would have no unsupervised contact, and neither he nor Lauren could contact her outside arrangements made by the child advocate. The district was ordered to preserve every file and device record. Child Protective Services received an immediate referral, and Dr. Keller's recommendation was suspended. Daniel was not dragged away in handcuffs, but when we left, the bailiff stood between him and Emma. 4 months later, investigators opened the detached garage workshop and found something the recordings had not shown. Part 5. The storage room inside the detached garage had no heat vent, no bathroom, and no safe way for a child to leave once the exterior deadbolt was engaged. The inside latch had been removed during a renovation. Daniel had called it a safe place for quiet time. Investigators called it confinement. District technicians authenticated every recording and confirmed the uploads came from Emma's school tablet during Daniel's parenting time. Child Protective Services matched the files to the condition of the garage. Lauren eventually admitted she had known Daniel used the room as punishment. She claimed she had been afraid to oppose him. That explained her silence. It did not excuse her voice on the recordings. Dr. Keller amended her report and acknowledged that her evaluation had been compromised. Emma had been questioned while Lauren remained close enough to hear. After being threatened and rehearsed the night before, she recommended that Daniel have no unsupervised contact until he completed a full risk assessment, and Emma's therapist believed contact could happen safely. At the final custody hearing, Daniel's attorney no longer called my journal obsessive. The judge called it consistent documentation. Daniel lost primary custody. His visitation became supervised and dependent on treatment compliance. The district attorney separately reviewed the confinement and Daniel's sworn statements. Lauren moved out before that process ended, but the court still barred her from contacting Emma without approval. Real consequences did not arrive as neatly as they do in movies, but they arrived. I did not feel victorious when the judge signed the final order. I felt tired. Justice could not return the nights Emma had spent reading in a cold room, hoping someone might hear her. It could not erase the belief that loving me could be punished, but it gave us a safe place to begin again, and it put the truth into a record Daniel could no longer rewrite. On the first night after the emergency hearing, Emma entered my apartment without removing her backpack. She ate half a bowl of tomato soup with it still strapped to her shoulders. At bedtime, she stood in the hallway. "Do I have to go back tomorrow?" "No. Next week. Not unless the court says it's safe. And nobody is taking you anywhere tonight." She studied my face, checking for the part adults sometimes left out. Then she walked into her room. A few minutes later, I heard the zipper of her backpack. She placed her reading book on the desk, then her sweater, her toothbrush, and a small stuffed rabbit I had not seen in months. One object at a time, she unpacked. When the bag was empty, she set it on the chair. "Can the door stay open?" she asked. "As wide as you want." She climbed into bed and opened the reading app. That night's assignment was about a girl finding her way home. Emma began to read. The tablet recorded the quiet hum of the heater, the turn of a page, and my footsteps stopping outside her open door. No deadbolt, no metal door. No one telling her she had to earn the right to come inside. At the end of the paragraph, Emma looked up. "Did you hear me?" "I heard every word." She smiled, small and tired, and began the next page.